What is up, y'all? We are back with more Aries 6 content for you. Tim Lloyd joined by my man, Jeff Hobbs. Jeff, today we have got the other half of our 155 title fight going down at Aries 6 next Saturday from the Camp Jordan Arena. Jeff, we got Justin Jamar joining us today. Going to be taking on Craig French for that 155 strap. And Justin's a guy we've seen fight quite a bit, and I'm excited to have him on the show for the first time.
Absolutely. I'm always excited to watch him compete. So I'm definitely excited that we actually, get a chance to just sit down and bullshit with Justin. We don't get to do it at fight shows very much because before the fight he's focused, and then after the fight he's usually celebrating somewhere without us. So I'm excited to be able to sit down and shoot the shit with Justin, man, Mr. Unorthodox himself.
Justin, what's going on, my man? And we are 1 week out from this title fight at Aries 6. Got a tough one on your hands in Craig French. We saw you guys face off at the last show. I was excited to see it, man, because you guys have both promised us a finish. How are you feeling about 1 week out?
Man, I'm feeling good. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. Weight good, cardio good, skills good, everything good. Mentally, I'm good. Just ready to go. Ready to show y'all the new sniper, the new Justin.
The sniper, man, I like it. We talked to Craig a little bit earlier. We spoke about how you got a very unorthodox style. You just don't know what you're going to get from you from fight to fight because there's so many varying angles of attacks and just it's really hard to prepare for that. But that's why it's kept you so dangerous. I've bragged on you, for years on here. I'm very much a fan of your style of fighting. You just very recently signed with management as you get ready to kind of take that next step. We talked to Craig as well. He's getting ready to take that next step. Do you think that this is kind of that litmus test where this is kind of going to be one of those fights that really tells you if you're ready to make that next step to the paid ranks?
Yeah, I know Craig tough. He an ex-Marine or something like that, and so I know he
Mm-hmm.
tough. He gonna give me a challenge, give me a push. Is what I need toward the end of my amateur career, and so yeah, I'm just looking to take a couple, tough opponents, like really skilled type deal, really the toughest in the area. That's why I'm chasing just straight belts because you get the best in the area type deal. So yeah, I'm just looking to get tested before I go and make that jump to pro and face reality
That's
and take a
Hey,
L
that's smart,
somewhere.
man. It really is the best approach you can have. You see it all the time. Guys trying to protect that amateur record, which really doesn't mean a whole lot. But if you take this thing seriously, you want to test yourself against the very best that you can. So you see all those different angles before you turn pro, and you're not in shell shock mode because you haven't experienced that already. We've got a 5 round potential fight here. Have you gone? Now, most of your fights I know have been finishes. But you've got a couple decisions there, and you haven't had any. You haven't had any go 5 rounds yet, though. Is that right?
Nah, not 5 rounds. My last fight went 3 rounds, but yeah, not 5 rounds yet.
Does that change your game plan or approach at all going into this one, knowing that you could have to fight an additional 6 minutes, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you tack it on as the last 6 minutes after nine, it does potentially make a difference.
Well, after my last fight, I felt like I could go an extra two, so I really didn't take any breaks. So I just really kind of amped it up a little more. So I feel like I'll be more and I'm well prepared. Like I'm not worried about anything. Like I'm just ready to
Jeff,
compete and show.
Jeff, you've called several of Justin's fights. You know that he is going to be explosive coming out of the gates. It's something that most guys have not been able to handle. What you got for Justin here? What's your take?
Justin, we talked to Craig a second ago, and I had mentioned in that interview with him, while it seems like there's always an air of controversy around your fights, not necessarily because you've actually done anything wrong, but because you are so unorthodox. Your punches are coming from angles that they don't see them coming from. You are throwing everything but the kitchen sink at your opponent. So, if you want to do a flying knee, you won't just do a flying knee, you'll do 3 flying knees. You'll do spinning back fists. Have you found that you've tapered back that style to try not to get any of those kind of questionable calls, or are you still just steadfast in your approach? Like, this is me. You've got to handle me. I'm not going to change how I do things.
And yeah, I would definitely say the amateur rules kind of like hold me back. like the side kick to the leg. I like to throw that a lot. I like the flying knees. I'm ready to throw elbows. So I might take a trip to Mississippi for my last amateur fight just to see how that is. But yeah, I think the amateur rules really kind of hold me back, and when I go pro, I really get to show like what I can really do, and like the highlights that I'm putting together now won't really even look like highlights compared to what I'll do when I'm pro type
Right,
deal.
and
That's
that's
how I
something me
feel.
and Tim have even said cage side. I remember the last time you were in Nashville. That's exactly something that we said was, this cat is fighting with a pro style mentality. So it puts you in those positions where, you know, God forbid, and again, we've looked back at some of those controversial, non calls, and they were good non calls because they were not fouls in our opinion. But had you had a referee looking at that the wrong way, I mean, it could have changed the outcome of that fight when it shouldn't have. So, we set ourselves in Nashville that this cat is, he's got the skill set and he fights like he's a pro, even as an amateur. Do you ever feel like, the small town that you live in, and I only say small gym as far as the size of the gym and the number of people there, but do you feel that people shortchange you, as far as don't give you the credit that you feel you deserve or the skill level that that you're at just because you're not at ATT, you're not at a big gym? Do you ever feel like you've got something to prove to those people?
Not really because I feel like I'm just fighting. Like I don't really study a style. Kind of like I don't really look at myself as a martial artist. I just fight type deal. Like I work on wrestling because I got taken down and laid on. But like that really just put a big chip on my shoulder because I don't want to get laid on. So I kind of got that kill mentality, not to get laid on, not to get took down, not to spare nobody. Cause dude gouge my eye out type deal. Like so, like that really kind of changed me as a person and as a fighter. Kind of like not. I mean, it kind of sounds evil, but like I don't know, like
I
it
just
worked
kind
out
of
to the best
myself,
for me.
and I mean this with obviously, you know, where I'm saying this is honestly with a ton of respect. I just feel like you've never really had a hard time finding opponents, and I think it's because people underestimate you. People think that you know, that there's still an avenue to beat you, that you're not as good as your record says you are, and so luckily for you, it's kept the opponents coming because they think they're the ones that are going to be able to expose you. And I just think you're such an underrated fighter still with your record. I think you're underrated because I think people still think you're just a raw fighter with a ton of holes. And everybody takes the fight quick because they want to be the one to expose that. And then they, at the end of the night, find themselves with their hands down by their side instead of raised up in the air. And I think that's really helped your amateur career because Tim will tell you, I mean, there's guys with the same record as yours that are impossible to find fights for. And at least you've been able to find opponents because they want to be the one to knock you off. So I've been a fan just because, again, I think you're just so underrated and underestimated. Um, I think you're a lot better than what people think that they think you are, and your record shows it. And like you said, you're at the cusp now of collecting more belts. I've watched you on your belt tour here
Hmm.
lately, and I think you're more calculated than what people think. The things you've said in this interview today, you should show people. You're not just like you said, a fighter. You are very calculated in your game plan, your plan, and your career path, man. And so, um, I'll just go ahead and extend it for Tim. I mean, when you're ready to make that pro debut, you just make sure you remember us. We always try to keep Justin
He
Jamar,
know.
even Eric. We try to keep you guys busy as much as you guys want to fight for. So you make sure when you're ready to make that jump, because I'm sure Tim's got a list in his head of some awesome matchups for you. So good luck to you, man. I'm excited to see this. And Tim, this is the last amateur fight before the pros come on. So
Yeah,
it's in the
amateur main event.
so it's in the perfect spot. So maybe the next time the Aries crowd sees you, you're on the other side of that line on the bout.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that, dog.
Yeah, man. So amateur main event. Craig French in front of you. Where's the one thing that you think that you need? Or not necessarily have to narrow it to one, but where's an area that you feel like you need to watch out for in this fight? What's if there were to be something to derail you, what would be the thing that you really need to just mind your p's and q's when it comes to Craig French?
He well prepared. He got a good team around him, but he's tough. I would say he's long. He's kind of long, and he has a good jab. He likes using his jab, and maybe his biggest thing is probably that he comes out of jiu-jitsu gym. But I don't look at him as like a wrestler to shoot and take people down. But
Yeah,
I
between
think
you guys, you have like 7 knockouts, I think.
yeah, I think he'll come out and try to bang with me, to be honest, and basically like you said, knock me off, show everybody, oh, he not this guy type deal, and like I ain't take my clout or whatever.
Hey,
Yeah.
if I'm on the outside looking in and dissecting this fight, I would say Craig's best strength is a gas tank that's very hard to empty. He's a guy that can keep a pace round after round after round and not get tired. And so that to me is going. If I were on the outside looking in, handicapping this fight, that to me would be the one thing that if I'm Justin Jamar that I would watch out for in the fact that if you go out there and you don't get him out of there early, he's a guy that definitely can go. He's in shape to do that, to go the rounds, and so I think if we end up getting 4 or 5 rounds out of this fight from you guys, it's going to be an absolute barn burner, and the fans are going to love it for sure. Man, I'm going to let you get some shout outs where they're due. Any friends, family, training partners, sponsors you want to give some love to, I will let you do that now.
Shout out to my coaches, everybody that's with me in my corner. You feel me? They know who they is. I mean, they'll be there next weekend. You feel
No
me?
doubt.
So I don't really want to. It is what you feel me? It is what it is.
Oh, yeah. Where can people find your social media so they can keep up with what you got going on?
You can find me on Instagram at the Justin Jamar, or you can type in Sniper Justin. They'll pop up. And Facebook Justin Jamar. I don't got a Twitter. I don't mess with Snapchat.
That
Smart
gets you in
man.
trouble, Justin.
Smart
That
man.
gets you in trouble.
Hey, folks, this has been Justin Jamar. He's going to be going for that Aries 155 title next Saturday, Aries 6, Camp Jordan Arena, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Get your tickets at fightertickswithannx.com. Make sure you select Justin from the drop-down menu so you can make a little extra scratch. And then, of course, you can watch the pay-per-view broadcast at Spectation Sports. Justin, man, one short week away. We'll find out if you're going to add another belt to that collection at Aries 6. We appreciate your time, brother. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all.